Hello and welcome back. In the last section, we looked at the course implementation for our project, and it's one of the important underpinnings of any distributed design and application design and development. Okay, and it was important from the context of distributed application design, and it's good that we actually spent some time there and then did a little bit of deep dive. So with that out of the place, let's head over back to our cart component. And if you recall, this is how it looks like right now. Our cart component is right now mounted on our cart navigation link. All right. So if we go head over to the /cart, you can essentially see the cart component in its bare bones form. All right. So the next thing is to actually go ahead and make the next move and essentially build on top of this. So let's head over back to the editor, and before we do that, I want to show you how the cart component looks in our reference app. All right, so head over to the reference app right here. Okay, and this is how it looks like. It has a heading here, which is the title, and then the heading that says how many dishes we have in the cart right now, and then it also gives us an option to continue shopping. And then of course it gets the contents from the cart, which is our local essentially application storage that we have defined here, and then finally it shows the total amount that the customer owes to us in case he wishes to purchase these, and a link to sign in to check out. Okay, without signing in, he will not be allowed to check out. So this is how it's going to look like, and this is what we intend to build going forwards. Alright, let's head over back to our window here, and I'm going to go over back to the editor as well. Let's get this. Alright, and then first thing is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this H2 in here, and after this I'm also going to say, instead of giving a hard coding like this, make sure that it actually resembles more a React way of specifying the literals here. Okay, it doesn't make any difference to the end outcome. Still, we're just sticking to the conventions of React. And let me collapse the sidebar so it's easy for us to actually give this a good view of the coding itself. And in here, what I'm going to do here, let me quickly go over back to the reference app. So essentially this one is the entire row in Bootstrap, and we'll be using a row, and this one represents a column, and this one represents a column here. Okay, and subsequently this one actually also represents a row, and this entire thing is one column, and this entire section is another column, and that's how we've defined the screen in here. Okay, so let's head back and then see how we can go about implementing that. All right, I'm going to go back to my code here and save this. I thought it gone away. Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, my cart has gone away. It should have auto updated. Let me see if auto updates now. Let's say my cart. Let's say my cart. And save. Yeah, it comes up. All right. Let me go ahead and change this again. Control S. Yeah, that should go away now. Super. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open a container here. First thing I'm going to do is a container and a div with a container class. All right. And inside of this one, I'm going to have a div with a row, and that also has a justify content center. Okay, content hyphen center. Okay, all right. And in here, I'm going to essentially create a couple of rows. And then for the paragraph, which says we have these many dishes in the cart. So for that, I'm going to open up a div with a class name of call. And this column will be of size 12 for all devices except large. Okay, and for the large one, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to specify a column size of LG and 4, and this is going to apply for LG and extra LG as well. So let me go ahead and remove the space here, create a dot, and this should give us another div here. Okay. So inside of here, I'm going to have an H4, okay, a heading with H4, and that's going to contain a literal string that says your cart contains, and I'll just give some literal here, dishes. All right, and we need to essentially find this dynamically. And for now, let's say I'll give it number 3. Okay. All right. Let's see how it looks like. Oh, okay. This is not looking pretty at all. Interesting. Will it help if I make a change to the LG size? Let's make it 6. No, this is not what we want. How about 10? Somewhat okay, but I still want them in the entire thing in one single line, and I don't want to end up using my 10 columns here. So apparently something is obviously wrong here. So I'll go back to column 4 just to understand where the problem is right now. So let's head over to our inspect window, and inside of here I'm going to go ahead and select this particular section. Okay, and this is right here, and I'm just going to check what's actually happening here. So we have a main here, but it's already a flex, and then we have a container. Inside of that we have another container. We already have a container. I don't think we should have another container. So what I'm going to do here is get rid of the container here, and hope that layout actually comes out okay. Alright, so let's head over here, back into FE. So I'm going to essentially go ahead and get rid of this container in here. Okay, super. Didn't do much, did it? Yeah. So what else can we do here? Let me go back again over to this, select this. Apparently, if you look here, this main thing, this entire main thing, it stretches the entire width right now. Okay, so and then we come here, it essentially becomes small, right? So what we're going to do here is let's look at the main class, and it has a display of flex. Let me go ahead and remove the display of flex here and see what happens. Alright, that actually gives us some interesting result, and probably the result that we want. Okay, and flex wrap and justify content. Yeah, they don't do anything different to the layout rendering. Okay, so I think we're looking good here, if you ask me. So what we're going to do here is essentially we will go over to the main class and essentially remove the display flex there, because we by the time we come here, we already have a display of container and all the rows and everything starts here. We don't have to essentially declare that as a display of flex. Okay, super. So right now, what we're going to do now is we'll go back to the main class. All right. I'm going to go inside of the layout component, and I will try to find the main.css, and that's where we are. I'm going to go ahead and essentially remove these 3 statements from here, okay? Which means I also need to remove this from main background, because they are just variations of each other. All right, so let me go ahead and remove this as well. Super. Alright, so that does it. And we also want to make sure it didn't break anything in our other components. So we want to make sure the other components are rendering just fine. Yep, they are doing just fine. Okay, and yeah, if you go to browse, that should also be rendering fine. It is. Super. Maybe we'll just refresh once to make sure that it's not rendering a cached version of our JavaScript. Let's go over to the cart. We are looking good here. Super. And the next thing we want to do here is we want to introduce some kind of margin here. So I'm going to say over here, I'm going to introduce some margin. Let's say margin top 3. That introduces that. And then also we can say we can have a margin bottom 3 as well. Okay. All right. Excellent. So we have this thing in place. We'll also try to change this font family here shortly. Just a moment, we'll do that for sure. And the next thing we want to do here, we want to get a button in place here. And for that, I'm going to define another column. Remember, we'll be in the same row, but we'll define another column. Okay. And I'm going to say call -12 call empty auto. Okay. I could also say LG auto. Let's see what happens here. LG auto. Okay. All right. Super. And inside of here, get a button in place. Button, and that's going to have a class name that says button primary. Hopefully this is going to work. Yep, it worked. Super. Oh no, not the ID. I didn't want the ID. Not right happen here. This has to be okay. Hold on. I need to put this inside this div, inside this column. Okay. Super. And this is gonna be a button. It doesn't need. Yeah. So essentially that'll say continue shopping. So that says continue shopping. All right. And I'm gonna say continue shopping. And let's see how it looks like right now. Okay, it shouldn't be coming here. So let's see what we can do here. Maybe MD auto should be fine. MD auto. I don't want it to be coming down there. Call LG4, call 12 and call MD auto. Hold on, I think we have a problem here. This actually has to be outside of, this is a column, and yeah, this is where we need it. Okay, let's see what happens now. Okay, there we go. And apparently this is not the right way to do it. It is actually button primary. I used the shorthands and it essentially created something that was undesirable. Okay, and let's see what we can do here. Maybe LG auto, if you head over back to LG auto, should be still fine. Yeah, not a problem at all. Okay, and next thing we want to do in here is we will go ahead and create an arrow here. Okay, so the way I do it is by saying ampersand hash x27f9 and a semicolon. Okay, let's see what we get. Super, we get an arrow. All right, excellent. And what else do we want here? Probably what we can do is we'll just highlight that arrow by saying, putting it in a strong tag, essentially. Okay, /strong. Yep, somewhat highlighted. Okay, not bad. So now the next step is to actually get this number correct. So how do we go about it? So the thing is, I want to make sure I put this in braces. So in case there is only one dish, I want it to be read as one dish. If it is multiple, I want it to be read as dishes. So essentially we had to get the number of dishes dynamically, right? So if you recall, we had a few, utility methods defined here. The one was the cart, get total items in cart. Okay, I'm going to go here and then copy that and head over back to my cart component. I'll say import, import. Get total items in cart. Okay, from, okay, and that's gonna be from cart handlers. Okay, super. And let me go ahead and call this get total items in cart. Let's call this. Super. So now we are getting 2 in here. Okay, and if you go over back to our application and look at the card, we indeed do have 2 dishes here. Okay, and that's what it's saying. And before we head over, let's kind of change a couple of things here, especially this one. We'll probably make it either regular, Roboto condensed, or right now it's I think Roboto italicized. Make it Roboto condensed, or we will make it Roboto bold. Well, let's see what we can do. Okay, I will head over down to the app.css, and inside of here I'm gonna head over to so over here I'm gonna create a new style for h4. Okay, and that's gonna be font family. Font family is gonna be let's say it's gonna be Roboto condensed. Alright, and the fallback of sans serif. Okay, super. Let's see if it actually has any impact. Anything in here? I don't see any changes. What if I give Roboto bold? Yeah, that does it. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think we'll retain this for now. In case we have to change in the future, probably we can go ahead and do that. But Roboto condensed, just the regular one. Roboto regular. Okay, let's see. This is Roboto regular, and then this is Roboto bold. Don't see much of a difference between the two of them, apparently. Okay, alright, so we have this in place right now, and This is nice, and we'll also make sure all our H4s will be rebootable, all our H2s will be rebootable. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let's say H2 will be again font family will be rebootable, and with a fallback of sans serif. Alright, super. So that's nice, and let's take a quick pause here. I want to make sure we don't overrun it beyond a certain point. So in fact, we can just club these together, H2, and you can also make H3s actually as rebootable. Alright, so reboot regular is fine. Okay, super. And probably another one that we wanted to check was the P titles here, right? I think they're looking good as they are. Probably not this one. This was actually H5, card title. Okay, let's go ahead and say, yeah, I want to make H5 reboot regular. H5. Yep, there we go. This is looking good, guys. Super. Alright, excellent. So let's take a pause here, come back, and get the next steps moving. Alright, we'll head over to cart and then read the contents of the cart from here, from the local storage, and present them here. Alright, take a quick pause, be back soon.